District 1, Barbara McQuinn.
Here.
District 2, Chuck Shaw.
Here.
District 3, Karen Brill.
Here.
District 4, Erica Whitfield.
Here.
District 5, Frank Barrieri.
Here.
District 6, Marcia Andrews.
Here.
District 7, Deborah Robinson.
Let the record show that all 7 board members are here. This month, we have 3 proclamations on the agenda. One proclamation is declaring October as LGBT History Month, a proclamation declaring October as National Bullying Prevention and Awareness Month, and a proclamation declaring October 14th through 20th as Mediation Week and October 18th as Conflict Resolution Day. Tonight, we're very pleased to have the William T. Dwyer High School Army Junior ROTC Panther Battalion here to present the flag, and performing the national anthem tonight is a group from Santa Lucia High School, the Santa Lucia High School Reflections. So please stand for the presentation of colors, our national anthem, and our pledge tonight will be led by Mrs. Barbara Terembes. Oh, wait.
United States of America, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, and congratulations to both schools for doing a great job. And we'd like to recognize the principal from William T. Dwyer High School, Mr. Corey Brooks, and the principal of Santa Lucia Community High School, Ms. Tamika Robinson. So thank you to all of our students and their teachers. So our first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. We have 3 items. Is there a motion to approve minutes 1 through 3? Motion by Mr. Barbieri, second by Dr. Robinson. Any discussion? Seeing no, all in favor, all opposed. At this time, we'd like to take a moment to wish a very happy birthday to our student government representative, Nolan Ursary. Yesterday turned 18, so congratulations and happy birthday. No? Okay. I just asked the superintendent if I could ask the one question you've got to answer before you can graduate, but I understand that you all don't know yet, or does that mean you do know? You don't know? Okay. Do you know what the question is? Okay. Thank you very much, and again, happy birthday. The next item on the agenda are the items that have been added. We have 4 items added, LD4, P2, and P3. Dr. Fenoy, anything else we need to add?
Nothing to add.
All right, and we have some items that have been withdrawn: FMPF2, LD3, LD5, LD6, and LD7. Those were withdrawn. Anything else to withdraw?
Nothing else to withdraw.
Consent agenda, we have 2 items that have been pulled so far, FPMF1 and IG4. Are there any other items anybody would like to pull? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda? Motion by Mrs. Brill, second by Mr. Barbieri. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Are there any disclosures or abstentions? Seeing none, we'll move to superintendent's report and board members' report. Dr. Fenoy.
Yes, good evening, board members and community. I'd like to begin my board comments tonight by recognizing that October is National Principals Month. This month, we show our appreciation for the men and women who provide leadership and support for our students and staff every day. If you hadn't had a chance to see some of our principals' selfies that they have shared throughout the district's social media, take some time to learn more about our outstanding principals. You will see a common thread. Our principals are committed to our students, and it is in that commitment that inspires their work every day. Principals, thank you. This month, yes, give them a round of applause. You know, I often like to tell, there was a time where I actually raised money for a nonprofit that trained principals, and I raised a lot of money by just making one statement, that the principalship can be one of the loneliest jobs in America. And even as a superintendent, I'm not really lonely because I have a great team working with me, but the principalship is a hard job, and I reflect on those days. And so my heart really goes out to all the hard work of our men and women doing that work. This month is also Dyslexia Awareness Month. We recognize this month as a chance to pause and reflect on the challenge that people with dyslexia face. We honor this month by recognizing our students who consistently and courageously work to overcome their learning disability. We honor the parents who are their children's champions, and we honor the teachers who work with these students to ensure their success at school and in their future. Last night, I had the chance to walk the floor of the 21st Annual Showcase of Schools. I am truly impressed. While, of course, I know these opportunities are available in our district, to see them all come together in one place is just remarkable. And I know that thousands of family in attendance would agree. And again, I went yesterday as a superintendent, but also as a father whose 5th grader will be going into middle school next year. So even I was a little overwhelmed with the choices that we have for our kids. I commend our Choice and Career Options Department for their continued success of this event and look forward to watching it continue to grow year after year. Let's take a video look at last night's event.
Thousands of Palm Beach County parents and students poured into the Expo Center at the South Florida Fairgrounds for the annual Showcase of Schools. The event highlights the more than 300 choice and career programs offered in the school district of Palm Beach County.
I think it's very exciting because like you can see all the good options and all the good choices.
From STEM and robotics to medical and veterinary, even JROTC, dual language, and performing arts. There's something for everyone.
I'm looking for a high school with a good law program.
There's a bunch of big video games now that I like, and it would be cool to design one.
I'm looking for theater/drama.
Why?
Because I think it's really cool to act on stage.
Choice and Career Options administrators work with area business leaders and organizations to develop cutting-edge programs that are interesting to students and that lead to well-paying, available jobs in our community.
We really do want to design programs that are going to lead them to whatever it is they desire when they graduate from high school.
Choice applications open November 1st, with Performing Arts programs deadlines on December 7th, 2018. The deadline for all other Choice program applications is January 25th, 2019. Remember, these innovative programs are part of public schools in Palm Beach County and are free of charge.
There's not a private school or charter school that can offer what we offer to the children and really tailor it to their needs and their interests. With the myriad of schools here today, you're sure to find what's right for your child.
Information and applications can be found on palmbeachschools.org/choice programs. Tricia Shervin for the Education Network, keeping you informed.
Again, congratulations to that department and our board for creating such great options for parents. Last week, the Wellington Village Council presented $330,000 in education grants to the schools in their community. Each of the 11 schools in Wellington received $30,000 in grants to bolster student achievement. We will be recognizing the village for their continued generosity at a later date, but I didn't want to miss this opportunity to say thank you to the Village of Wellington before then. And finally, a week ago, our friends in the Florida Panhandle were devastated by Hurricane Michael. 8 school districts in Florida are closed until further notice, and 1 will remain closed for the remainder of the week. Our neighbors need our help, and I am very proud that our supply drives already are underway in many of our schools. Additionally, the Florida Association of School District Superintendents has also created a GoFundMe page to raise money for the school districts impacted by the storm. You can make a donation through their website at fadss.org, or you can also find the link on our district social media pages as well. This evening, we also have the pleasure of introducing 2 new principals, one for Waters Edge Elementary and one for Belvedere Elementary. As Ms. Wyatt and Ms. Sanders come to the podium to introduce our new leaders, I would also like to take a moment to thank Diane Mayer, our principal at Belvedere Elementary, who will be retiring soon, for the many years of service to our district. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good evening, Chairman Shaw, Vice Chairwoman Dr. Robinson, school board members, and Dr. Fenoy. It was with great pleasure that I introduced Julie Walker as the next principal of Waters Edge Elementary, pending board approval. And we are very excited to have her join the amazing South Region team and continue the great work at Waters Edge.
Good evening, Chairman Mr. Shaw, Vice Chairwoman Dr. Robinson, Dr. Fenoy, and school board members. I would like to begin by thanking the school board members, Dr. Fenoy and Mr. Oswald, for their confidence in my leadership. To Mr. Barbieri, I am grateful for the opportunity to come back to the South Region. Thank you. As I approach my 20th year in this district, I am so excited to take on the new role as the proud principal of Waters Edge Elementary School. I look forward to creating relationships with the teachers, students, families, and all stakeholders of the Waters Edge community. I know that my instructional background will help all students continue to achieve success to enhance the long-standing tradition of academic excellence at Waters Edge. I would like to thank Dr. Ian Saltzman, the South Region Superintendent, along with Ms. Jamie Wyatt, the South Region Instructional Superintendent, for their confidence in me and providing me with this opportunity. I would also like to thank the Assistant Superintendent of Professional Growth, Ms. Carlene Millen, and the Director of Professional Development, Ms. Jen Carras, for supporting my growth over the last year. A very special thank you to the Director of Leadership Development, Dr. Laurie Riopel, for providing me with opportunities to grow and for her constant belief in my abilities. Lastly, I would like to thank my family for being my rock and my constant source of support and love. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Shaw, Vice Chairwoman Dr. Robinson, school board members, Superintendent Dr. Fenoy, and Deputy Superintendent Mr. Oswald. It is my absolute delight to present to you today the new principal at Belvedere Elementary, pending board approval, Mrs. Amy Lopez.
Good evening. Pardon my voice. Good evening, Chairman Shaw, Mr. Shaw, Vice Chairwoman Dr. Robinson, board members, Dr. Fenoy, Mr. Oswald. It is an honor and pleasure to be named the next principal at Belvedere Elementary School. As you know, the principal position entails a great deal of responsibility and grand leadership, but I have demonstrated all of those skills, and I will bring some wonderful things to Belvedere Elementary. My career has been within the school district, all in Title I schools, and my love is especially for ELLs and dual language. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude for all of those that have made it possible for me. Excuse me. First, I'd like to thank God for his grace. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Fenoy, Mr. Oswald, Dr. Rodriguez, Dr. Sanders, for their confidence in me and entrusting me with this great responsibility. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge my outstanding role models. Excuse me, Assistant Superintendent of Professional Growth, Ms. Carlene Millen, my director, Mrs. Jen Carras, and the Director of Leadership Development, Dr. Laurie Riopel. Without their outstanding leadership, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. I'd like to also thank all of the assistant principals and principals that have steered me on my journey here in Palm Beach County, because they're probably watching tonight, so thank you. And last but definitely not least, my family, my parents, my supportive husband who is my rock, and without his support steering me and with his faith, I wouldn't be here today. And the two people that keep me motivated are my two young boys. They keep me motivated to continue to learn, and as a leader, leaders are always learning. As I transition to Belvedere, I am aware of the anticipation and eagerness of new leadership in any organization, and it is my role, commitment, and responsibility to embrace the entire school community. I truly look forward to this opportunity, and it's great to be a Belvedere Bee. Thank you.
Board member comments. We'll start with Mrs. McQuinn.
I'm saving mine for later, thank you.
Mrs. Whitfield.
Absolutely, I'm excited. So, a couple of things that I wanted to talk about tonight. The first thing I wanted to talk about was it happened on September 25th. We had a group of over 250 people from the community, the League of Women Voters, and so many staff members that went out to all of our local high schools and were able to register students to vote. This is something that was made possible by Miss Diana Fetterman and her staff, but also the amazing League of Women Voters who really just did such an unbelievable job. We, on that day, actually registered 1,938 students here in our schools. Amazing. So proud of them, and I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who volunteered their time that day. I think this says so much about our community, that we care so much about our students and really getting their voice out there. The second thing I wanted to mention with that is that how important it is to vote. This is our last election, or last meeting before the election on November 6th. So I hope that everyone that hears us will go out and vote and make your voice heard here in Palm Beach County. I think there's really nothing more important that you can do on that day. And I just wanted to make a moment to say that. Thank you. The next thing I wanted to mention is on November 3rd, our Education Foundation is having a run in Bryant Park. This is the 5th annual Heroes for Education 5K. This is raising funds for the Education Foundation of Palm Beach County, which everyone knows supports our schools and our teachers. I think it is such a wonderful moment to get out and be able to support your schools and your teachers and also get some exercise in your day. It's just a beautiful way to start the day on that Saturday. So please go and look at Education Foundation, pbc.org/heroes5k so that you can register and be a part of that. And if you have any questions, I know we have our director here with us today, and I'm sure he'd be happy to answer them. The last thing I wanted to say was a huge thank you to the Showcase of Schools last night. I think that just the conversation about all of that with that video made my blood run cold. I have to, my daughter has to start middle school next year. It is an absolutely terrifying thing. I'm so in love with her elementary school. The idea of moving on is too much for me to bear, but I have to say she came home from the Showcase of Schools last night and she couldn't fall asleep. I think she was literally up till like 10:30. She was so excited. She was just inspired and thrilled and can't wait to go to middle school. So I want to say thank you so much to the staff who are doing such an awesome job of getting so many students really excited about their education. And I really think that that has a lot to do with why our school district is so successful and children feel so engaged in their schools. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Brill.
Thank you. And so tonight I want to start off by saying congratulations to Park Vista's striking Cobra Band. They achieved first in class and second place overall at the Bands of America Orlando Regional Championship this past Saturday. As you know, Park Vista will be marching in this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Please come out and help support them by attending the annual Park Vista Striking Band Invitational on November 3rd. We will make sure that we get the time out to all of you, but my understanding is that it may take place all day long. If so, stop by as your time permits and after you join the Education Foundation at the Heroes for Education 5K that Mrs. Whitfield just mentioned. I also want to offer my congratulations to the Department of Choice and Career Options for their once again fabulous showcase of schools at the South Florida Fairgrounds. And now I want to tell you about a meeting I attended yesterday in Parkland. Get It Done is a nonpartisan action team of leaders working together created by Hava Holzhauer. The subject yesterday was school safety, and the speakers were Lori Aladef and me. Lori tragically lost her daughter, Alyssa, in the Parkland massacre and was recently elected to the Broward County School Board. In attendance, accompanying our newly elected state Senate Representative Tina Polsky, and also at the invitation of Congressman Ted Deutsch's legislative aide Wendy Lipsitch, was our lobbyist Rita Solnit. The differences between our two school districts are striking, but there are also so many similarities. I bring this up because as our conversation progressed, I quickly realized it would be beneficial on a number of levels and in a number of ways for us, the school board, to convene a meeting with our colleagues in Broward County and Miami-Dade. The purpose of the meeting would be to discuss school safety and how we can work together locally and lobbying at the state level. We have ideas we can share with each other on other matters as well. I won't go into details now. However, since our lobbyist was there and because we must act as a collective body, by a nod of heads from my colleagues, I would like us to give direction to the superintendent to allow Ms. Solnit to assist in arranging this meeting and to include the lobbyists from our 3 districts in the discussion. So if you agree with me that we should all get together to try and work together, I would appreciate your indicating so. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Andrews.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. And I too want to congratulate all who were involved in the showcase of schools yesterday. It truly was outstanding. Dr. Johnson, I'm giving you kudos. You've taken over for Dr. Licata, but guess what? Your team did an excellent job. I love seeing the students recruit for their choice academies for their schools. It's outstanding to see them actually go up to parents and present information as it relates to the great programs they have in their schools. I thank you, principals, teachers, and staff. All of you were out there. The parents were out there. It was just simply a wonderful time. I found my way working through the crowds just to wave at you to say hello. So keep up the great work. This is a tradition in Palm Beach County, outstanding with the showcase of schools. And I know Dr. Fenoy mentioned it, but I'm going to mention it again and again. Wellington, Wellington, Wellington. The Village of Wellington, your Education Advisory Board, your dedication to the community, $330,000 for the 11 village schools, $30,000 for each school, given in the grant money, a big check, a grant in honor of our own and beloved Keely Spinelli. Many of us here remember all the outstanding work she did for the School District of Palm Beach County and her work in the Wellington community as well as in the Wellington schools. She died of cancer, and to honor her commitment to education, the community, the Village of Wellington, recognized her wonderful achievements. So we say, thank you, Wellington. Keep up the great work. You are a forerunner for outstanding achievement as a community, as a village for others. And I know on the agenda tonight we have a special thank you to the Jacobs family of Wellington. Your work in the community, working with our schools, contributing, helping to make our schools great in the village of Wellington. You've been doing it for years. And I salute you tonight as you receive recognition for your wonderful, wonderful support and attention to our schools. And you help them maintain their excellent status. And lastly, I want to talk about a special thank you. A thank you to the Sovereign Order of St. John of Jerusalem Knights of Hospitaller, the Commandery of the Palm Beaches. And you may say, what is that, Miss Andrews? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's an order that knows the purpose of giving back. And what they are doing is they are bringing hope and change to Belle Glade, one student at a time. They are raising funds to build a youth children development center. Their partnership with the First Haitian Baptist Church will continue to make the after-school program a success. The First Haitian Baptist Church has an after-school program of 120 students. The building that they are in now is very old, and this group is working hard to raise funds to build this new facility. So once this is done, the students from the church will have an after-school program in a building that will be superb for learning. But we want to commend them for their great work, and I'm happy to participate in this great venture. Thank you.
Mr. Barbieri.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. I also want to thank, as the other board members did, the Dr. Licata, Dr. Johnson, her staff for a great program last night at the fairgrounds. Like Mrs. Whitfield, who's terrified that her elementary school child is going into middle school, I'll tell you what's terrifying is the little boy that I recently buckled into a car seat was standing next to me last night, my grandson Brandon, who is now looking at which high school he wants to go to next year. So if you're terrified about an elementary school going to middle school, just think what it's going to be like when your grandchild is starting high school, and all of a sudden you realize that half your life, more than half of your life, is probably the other side of where you're at. So great job last night, Dr. Licata and Dr. Johnson. Great job. Brandon found a couple of schools that he's thrilled to attend, and I'll be thrilled to see him there. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Robinson.
Thank you. So first, let me invite you to participate in the State of Florida's African American History Task Force educational event that will take place on Saturday, November 10th at Atlantic High School. We're requesting that everyone registers so that we make sure we have enough refreshments and so forth, and you would contact Mr. Brian Knowles, Knowles, to register. So along that line, you know that I have to give you the Black History fact for this month. So as a medical student and then a physician, I often wondered how our textbooks could describe the natural history of an illness. This would require that someone observe the disease process. And I wanted to believe that this observation had to be retrospective because I had taken a course in medical ethics as an undergraduate at Michigan State. But in that course, they failed to teach me about the Tuskegee study of untreated syphilis in the Negro male, as it was officially called. So according to the Centers for Disease Control, this study began in 1932 and initially involved about 600 black men, some with syphilis and some without. Now, I want you to know that at that time, again, according to the CDC, approximately 35% of the reproductive age population of the United States was infected with syphilis, and it was considered a major public health problem. People were being treated with mercury and other toxic treatments that were sometimes fatal, and the cure rate was only around 30%. So something had to be done. So they decided to study these black men. These men were told that they were being treated for bad blood, and in exchange for their participation, they received free medical exams, free meals, and burial insurance. Local physicians were even asked to not treat them in order to cooperate with the study. This study was officially done to record the natural history of syphilis. So I'll skip in the interest of time. In 1945, penicillin was noted to be highly effective in treating syphilis, but this treatment was denied to these men. So the simple, effective treatment was not offered to them. 2 years later, United States Public Health Service established rapid treatment centers across this country to treat syphilis, but these black men were denied treatment. So in 1969, the CDC reaffirmed the need to continue this study in order to know the natural history of syphilis, and in fact gained support from the American Medical Association and National Medical Association. So the study did not end until 1972 after public outcry and an advisory panel that concluded that the study was, quote, ethically unjustified, meaning the knowledge gained was sparse compared to the risk the study posed on these subjects. There was a class action lawsuit and a $10 million out-of-court settlement. Programs were established to provide medical and burial benefits to these men, their wives and widows and offspring. In 1997, President Clinton issued an apology on behalf of the nation, and shortly thereafter, the Tuskegee University National Center for Bioethics and Research in Healthcare was created, and this was followed by the President's Council on Bioethics, which was established in 2001. So this was a very, very sad chapter in our nation's history. I think it's important that we understand the context and that we make sure that our young people learn about this sad chapter in addition to many others, because the truth will set you free. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our comments from board members. Our next item on the agenda are our presentations, and this time I'd like to